You're watching on demand. Please check the closing time before trying to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
Today on your Loose Women Live, it's Kay Adams, Jane Moore, Sunetra Sarkar, and Nadia Sawala.
We are ready for the weekend, aren't we? Yay! Hello and welcome to your Friday Loose Women. Coming up this lunchtime, as Colleen Rooney says she won't forgive Rebecca Vardy over the Wagatha Christie scandal, we're asking, can you ever truly forgive a betrayal if you don't forget? Also, when it comes to your kids, how strong is your maternal instinct? We want to hear your stories of when your maternal superpower kicked in for your kids, and we're going to be sharing ours too. And speaking of little ones, they welcomed their second baby just 2 weeks ago. Look at that wee cutie there. Emmerdale star Danny Miller and wife Steph will be here talking about overcoming fertility battles to become a family of 4. And we have got a huge announcement later that you will not want to miss. There we go. Now, just a little warning here, because Nadia is going to be totally unruly because she's forgotten to put her earpiece in. And so she is going to be utterly uncontrollable. That's right.
I was trying to work out whether I had it in my bra. Did you see? I don't know where it's
Would you like someone to have a look for you? This gentleman in the front row might oblige.
Honestly, I don't know where I'm.
Here comes Jack.
Oh,
there
thanks, Jack. I was worried I'd swallowed it. Anyway, I'm here.
Live TV. The thing is, we've all been eating jelly beans before, so maybe you just thought,
Straight in.
It's all her fault. It's her fault.
Swallowed it.
We're going to start with the story that we're all talking about today. Tributes continue to pour in for Sir Michael Parkinson, who has died aged 88. Much loved figure, and when you see the response to his death, lots of people have reflected back on his life and his humble beginnings. He's been dubbed the soul of Yorkshire. Which really made us think, didn't it, about how much where you come from shapes you and kind of makes you the person that you are.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you're such a proud Scouser, aren't you?
Absolutely. I mean, I do feel like it comes as part of it's part of my DNA.
Yeah.
I really do. I mention I'm from Liverpool to people who don't know. I'm really happy to feel like I belong to that tribe. You know, it's very tribal, isn't it, when you come from certain parts of the country, and then especially when you go abroad and you're telling people where you're from. I've been so fortunate that people recognise Liverpool. It's got the football, it's got the Beatles, it's got that kind of cool, edgy.
Oh yeah,
funny
so you kind of get that warmth from people because they know about the Beatles and
there's a real instant thing, and of course, Ireland, the Irish love the Scousers, so you get a free VIP pass to the being in, like, come and have a drink with us, you know. And I think me, personality-wise, I have shaped a bit of who I am. I get that sense of confidence from having to speak up, because you know it's hard to be shy in Liverpool. Let's just say that. You know, you have to be confident. You have to speak up, or you kind of get left behind. And at school, it wasn't really about being clever. It was about being funny. And if you're not funny, you're out. You're like,
was that the kind of thing?
Oh God, it's a real benchmark of whether you're allowed in or out of a circle. Like, did you find that so funny? Oh, get out of here! No, you're not going to do it. Go away. We don't want to speak with it. Yeah, you know, like yeah. You're not that funny. I'm not hanging around with you anymore. I'm going to speak to these. Like, you know, like it's a real.
That is it.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
I remember your first day here, and everywhere you went, you could hear you saying Sinatra, like Finetra,
etc. It's Sinatra, like
Finetra, and everywhere we were going, people were laughing.
Yeah,
it's that great humour.
I mean, you have to have these things in your back pocket, like Bo Selector, Sinatra. You know, there's a lot of things that help people get my name right.
But Liverpool has got such a strong reputation, hasn't it? I mean, people, you know, conjure up a real sense of Liverpool. I mean, like Jane, and I'm Scottish, so obviously that's.
Are you?
Yeah, I am. Of course not. So that's got a very kind of strong.
Does that travel
identity.
well when you go abroad?
It does, actually. It does. I'm not going to rummel up any problems here, but being Scottish is quite good internationally. Like, you're from Oxford.
What's she saying?
Well,
What's
it just is. People have this idea of Scotland, don't they, of the history and the landscape and
you're a proud Scot,
etc. Yeah, I do love being Scottish. But like, you're from Oxford, which I don't know what Oxford is.
No, well, I don't really. Well, I do, obviously, because I was brought up there. But globally, if you say you're from Oxford, they go, oh, Oxford. Because they think of the dreaming spires and whatever. And they think everybody talks like this. Whereas actually the Oxford accent is quite country. That's how they talk, they talk a bit like that. Because I was on a big council estate called the Wood Farm Estate, and it was like, you all right today? They all talk a bit like Josie, but not as extreme as Josie, who's a Bristolian, obviously. So, it's a weird one. It's quite a hybrid city, I would say. So I don't really identify with being from Oxford in the same way that you two. So I kind of, I don't know, I always wonder, is there sometimes that when you
There's a butt coming, Sinead. There's a butt coming, I can feel it.
No, but it's like when you so strongly identify with being from somewhere, do you sometimes feel that's quite restricting in that you feel, because I'm from this place, I have to be a certain
sort of
way?
archetypal
Do you like always
Liverpudlian?
think, oh, because I'm Liverpudlian, I've always got to be funny?
Yeah.
Good, because we love that Liverpudlian humour.
No, I think there is a little bit of pressure, but it's pressure I appreciate, and I'd rather have that than be from a part of the world where people go, where's that?
Yeah,
Never heard of it. Never remember it. I don't know who. I mean, it kind of. I feel like it helps me, but I can understand. But when I go to India, for example, if I told people that I was from Oxford, you would be considered worldwide. Like you'd be like
upper class.
Stephen Hawking.
She must be clever. Stephen Hawking. She must be rubbing shoulders with Hugh Laurie every day. You know, there is this sort of like dreamy idea of Oxford. So I don't think you've got it that hard outside of the UK.
No, I haven't got it hard.
UK,
I'm just saying I don't identify with, because I
Having a
didn't
flag.
have that sort of education, so I don't feel any pressure in terms of But what about you?
You feel
You're
London,
aren't you?
I feel London, but I really, really identified with being Arabic because that side of my family was just so colourful and loud, and we always having parties. And actually, I grew up in a very, a very ordinary area in South London, and in a semi, and my identity actually was Arab more than, and I had
more than London.
If I experienced any racism, I didn't know about it. I was like, oh, come round to my house. Yeah, you might get sheep's eyeballs for breakfast. I was like that. And I would hope that if somebody came round to my house, my dad would arrive with a whole lamb, because he used to go and get whole lamb from Smithfield with my cousin, because I just thought it was so colourful. So I was just sort of, I was just really proud of being
Arabic
Arab.
dress, if your dad was dressed in like the authentic
Oh
clothing.
no, I wouldn't have wanted that, because nobody wants to be that different, do they?
Oh,
so it's
right.
like
So
not
there's a
that
line.
different. I don't
There's
want
a
you,
line.
because he used to wear his dressing gown a lot. So whenever he used to come to with his dressing gown on, we'd pretend he was a lodger. Because we were embarrassed.
Your mum's reputation must have been good in the street. Remember when you used to say it's the lodger? Anyway, thank you, Sir Michael Parkinson, for making us reminisce. Also making the news today, our very own loose woman, Sophie Morgan. 20 years ago today, this very day, Sophie was in a car crash that changed her life forever. After collecting her A-level results, like so many teens did yesterday, she was driving 4 friends to a party when the car spun out of control and flipped into a field. Although her friends escaped unharmed, Sophie broke her back and was left paralysed. 2 decades on, leading powerful campaigns for disabled rights and establishing a successful presenting career, Sophie has and continues to inspire so many people. So this week, she was determined to challenge herself and embark on the ultimate adventure, an American road trip.
I'm so excited. I can't believe it's here. I can't believe it's happening. It's not just about the actual adventure of it. It's also about what it means to me and how far I've come. I didn't know what life could be like as a wheelchair user. Fast forward 20 years and to be sat where I am now, thinking about how much I've achieved in that time, but also how capable I am.
Sophie and I went to school together. I've known her for about 24 years. After the crash, I kind of helped out a lot. We became very, very close and we've been best buddies. I know she's looking for a new chapter. And I think this journey is symbolic of that.
First hurdle, getting through British Airways, check in.
12.
touchdown in DC. Flight was good. Day one, just woken up, DC. I think today, really the agenda is just to get to as many miles under our belts as we possibly can. Look at this, hand controls. So I can drive it if I need to. Let's go, let's go!
So today we've put in that I'm going to ride about 10 hours. Oh, in heaven. I've got music playing through the headset. I could do this for the rest of my life. Literally for the rest of my life. It's not good news. The rain continueth. We're in Sturgis now. We're going to go and explore. So many bikes! Driven into Yellowstone, and there's buffalo everywhere, and apparently there's some wolf pups in the tree line, and so we're all trying to see if we can spot one. You're gonna laugh. I'm literally in this like cart buggy thing. I'm about to go and jump off a mountain.
All right, everybody, Lucas flying high in the sky above Jackson Hole.
Yes, Leigh! Woo!
Oh my goodness, I am speechless. What a trip, what a woman. Sophie joins us now live from Los Angeles. Yay! What are you like, Sophie Morgan? Oh my goodness, have you turned into a biker?
I've had the trip of a lifetime. I literally, just watching it back there, I can't believe it's all happened. How is everybody? It's great to see you all.
We're missing you.
we're
I actually just was thinking there of your mum, Sophie, when you were jumping off a mountain.
I know, I actually, do you know what? I just realised I haven't shown her that footage yet. I haven't shown her. Oh no, I hope she's not watching because she would have hated.
It's so important though, Sophie, because you're just showing that you can do whatever pretty much you want to do. And I know you had a really, really tough time after the crash for like 3 years, literally lying on your stomach. How do you think 18-year-old Sophie would have loved to have seen this footage in terms of the hope it brings?
Do you know what? That's why I think I'm doing it for many ways, for many reasons. I've been sort of reflecting on it as I've been going. And so much of this is about thinking where I was 20 years ago as an 18-year-old and how terrified I was and how little I thought I'd be able to do. And that wasn't just because of my own internalized kind of perceptions around disability. I certainly think it was around other people's ideas of what people like me could do too. And I just kept getting told that I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. So I was just really like, right, I'm just going to just throw that rule book out the window and make up my own definition of what I can achieve. And I mean, it's taken me a long time to get to where I am and find the confidence and also find the people that can facilitate things like this. I mean, it wasn't always the case that someone could go and jump off a mountain if they're a paraplegic, but now certainly we can. And that's just exciting for me. So I do feel this is a bit of a, I'm dedicating it, I think, to my younger self and saying, look how far you've come and look how far you can probably go from here. And also anyone else who might be watching who is just going through a life-changing injury or has someone that they love in a similar situation, perhaps giving them a bit of hope that it's not as bleak as you might think and that there is hope there. You know, you don't know what you could achieve. And I don't know, it just feels really empowering to be doing this at this point in my life.
Do you feel like you've got braver because of everything that's happened to you, or were you always quite a daredevil before? Do you think jumping, I mean, I watched that and I just think I wouldn't do that now, right? No, regardless. And you're, you know, you're wheelchair bound and you've just gone flying basically in the sky. Do you think you're braver because of it?
Oh, that's a good question. I reflect on that a lot as well. I think perhaps I was always a little bit the type that would jump off a mountain and that never left, you know, and it never left. But it was momentarily kind of paused when I was paralyzed and I thought I'd never be able to do that. So there's certainly an itch scratched, you know, by being able to do it. But I think the whole point of of this adventure is to prove to myself, my younger self, what I suppose, what I never thought I'd be able to do 20 years down the line, but also to tell myself now, look what you can do. And I think that's something I really I always want to stress in my work and in the things that I do and on my social media and everywhere, is that, don't limit what your ideas of what people with disabilities can and can't achieve. Because I think it's those limits that actually really inhibit us from living our lives, because there's no reason why we can't do these things if people enable us to find the right gadgets, find the right attitude, that kind of thing. So I don't know, I mean, it's partly me, but it's partly because I think if the opportunity's out there to be able to do these things, I kind of just go, right, I've got to do them. Because I think that car crash and I didn't die, and so I think there's that feeling of you living twice, so live it big.
I know. Well, listen, Sophie, you have our love and admiration. Enjoy the rest of your trip.
Loving watching it all on Instagram.
And we can't wait for you to be back in the studio to tell us lots more about it. Thank you, Sophie.
Everybody, lots of love.
Wow. Once a wild child, always a wild child,
Absolutely.
eh?
That's the essence of who she is. Lots still to come, including a very exciting announcement for you at 1 o'clock. And after the break, it's a case of art imitating life for Jennifer Lopez in her latest film, The Mother, as her co-stars praise her for being a mama bear. So have you ever had a mama bear moment? Or is it okay to admit that you don't always have a maternal instinct? I sense confessions coming up. See you soon. Welcome back. Lots still to come today, including how do you decide when to forgive somebody? If you forgive someone. Also, we're catching up with the Millers. That's Emmerdale's Danny and his wife Steph about life at home with 2 under 2. There you go. But first, in her latest film, The Mother, Jennifer Lopez plays an assassin who comes out of hiding to protect her daughter. I wouldn't mess with her, would you? Her co-stars have been speaking on her real-life parenting style, describing her as a mama bear to her kids. So it got us thinking about how protective we are when it comes to our own children. What do you understand by a mama bear, Nadia?
It's my lose it moments when I just lose it and I'm roaring like a crazy bear. And the last time I did that, it was in Sainsbury's car park.
I'd like to have seen that.
The kids were just ahead of me, both the girls, and there'd been a lot of discussion in the previous years about, you know, always get so much hassle on the bus, on the tube, and they come home with these stories, and you're just so enraged that you can't do anything. Anyway, so they were walking ahead of me. Mark and my mother-in-law were away behind me, and the girls passed these 2 young boys, and they were like, if I'm actually honest,
boys?
Yeah, if I'm actually honest, I don't know what they said. But
oh my God,
they might have said, "Is that our car over there?" I don't know.
Basically projected onto them.
Projected. I was like, "This is my moment." They've said something derogatory about my daughters. They've said something sexualised, whatever. I went ballistic. Excuse me. Who told you think you are talking about my daughters like that? Right? Full on. They were like so shocked. Anyway,
not least because it probably hadn't said it.
No, they definitely said something, but in my head it was like much more.
Bigger, yeah.
Anyway, so Mark comes round the corner with my mother-in-law, and I'm going completely ballistic. So he came up and starts going ballistic as well. He had no idea what had happened. How dare you? And he goes, "Don't you ever talk to my daughter?" But he knew nothing. and then one of them was decided to be a little bit feisty, so he went completely mad again. The girls were like, because I said, well, you know, what, 16, 17? Maddie was like, "Mum, I think they were about 12. They weren't 12. They weren't 12. But I lost it because I thought they'd said something derogatory about me. It was all the other times I couldn't say anything. Anyway, so in the end, we went home. Honestly, I couldn't sleep for days. I thought, I'm going to be picked up on the cameras in Sainsbury's car park, going like a roaring bear.
And it's funny, if they'd said something to you, maybe, you're just like,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
But it's like because it's your daughters.
And because there's so much talk about how we never pull young kids up anymore. There's no click round the ear.
Yeah.
Oi, you, don't you. Oi, Sonny Jim. I went into Sonny Jim, that's what.
Did you? Yeah. Did Annie Palmer come out a little bit?
A little
Did
bit.
she?
It all
was
came out.
in there.
Bodicea, everyone was there.
That was a good old party. Yeah,
Not in my pub.
My name over the door, my name over the door. Yeah, it's one of them.
No, I've just been in Italy with my two, and obviously Italian men are very charming.
I love the way that Italian men are.
So we're all sitting having drinks down in this harbour one night. It was lovely. Everybody was down there. There was a bit of a bar and a bit of music, and it was lovely. It was just really, really nice. I'm there with the two girls. And then eventually these two guys came over and, you know, they kept talking to them. And I was just sitting there just observing and, like, laughing. And then they were going, oh, have a dance. And one of them in particular was quite drunk. And then in the end, I'm like, anyway, lovely to meet you, I kept saying, i.e., move along, we're having a nice time here without you, thank you very much. Did it about 3 times, and he kept... And then he's pulling one of my daughters up to dance, and then he reached out to touch my younger... He just touched like this.
Yeah.
And I just lost... I did what you did, and I just stood up and I went, off! Off! Get away!
Oxford, you know.
Like this, yeah. I went, off! And he didn't speak much English, but straight away, I suppose
think he'd
the
get
thing
it.
about Italians is mama
You're
is
the
head of the
mama.
family.
Yeah.
And he just went, mama not happy. And they left.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. How it worked, yeah.
Did you feel like a kind of dowager chaperone?
Well, both the girls were like, oh, it was fine, Mum. I was like, no, I wasn't having it. So, there you go.
But see, that's the funny thing about the age. You know, like mine are 21 and 16, are the same as yours, and they get to an age that they don't want you to leap in and do that.
I know.
Because, you know, it's like cringe, go away, and so you've got to kind of bite your tongue a little bit.
I'm feeling a bit of that because, you know, Noah's just turned 18 and now I am not allowed to kind of get involved in the things I would normally help him out with. So, you know, I'd be the first one to go in there and go, I'll sort this out, you know, I like that. I like that role. Yeah. And I like it because my mum didn't do that for me. My mum was always like, we're better than that, we're better than that. And I'd be like, I want someone to fight for me. I actually had aunties and uncles that would fight for me more than my mum would because my mum's more placid. So I was like, when it's my turn to be a mum, I'll be there going, did somebody sort... I can sort that out.
Do you want me to go round?
Yeah, do you want me to get in touch with their mum? You know, all that. But he doesn't want me to do that because he's a grown-up now and I'm struggling with how I
know,
where do I sit? Are you the same?
No, you three are nuts. Just come. We're revealing another very special guest who'll be joining us on our Loose Women tour. Don't miss it. And speaking of special guests, we've got 2 lovely ones in the studio today. Emmerdale star Danny Miller and his wife Steph. Oh, we've got 4 lovely ones telling us about life with 2 kids under 2 and the emotional journey that... Oh, that hair. I love that hair. We'll see you after this.
Our award-winning show is hitting the road as we swap the studio for the stage and bring our panel directly to you.
Oh, more drama than blooming Love Island, this, isn't it?
We'll be live across 16 spectacular nights this September in theatres across the UK. Join the Loose Woman for a night full of laughter.
You need to stand in front of the mirror.
Oh, no!
Naked, right?
Hot topics.
We'll move on to snipping bushes now then, shall we?
Fun and surprises.
Who knows what he can do with those tentacles?
As we share our secrets and stories live and in person. You won't want to miss it. To join in the fun of the Loose Women tour, go to the website.
Welcome back to your Friday Loose Women. Yeah, I can't believe it. 2 weeks tonight, we're going to be in Birmingham on tour.
Is it 2 weeks?
It's 2 weeks tonight. 2 weeks tonight. It's going to be crazy. Is it? Yes,
You've got it in your diary, haven't you?
Have we got our train tickets and everything?
Yeah, oh God, you've got
Jane will organise it.
Well,
Jane
you
will
really have. We've got lots of special guests joining us. Josie Gibson, Biggins, Larry Lamb, and I've got some exclusive news for you. Do you want to know who it is? Do you want to know who it is? Yes, of course you do. Of course you do.
Hi, everyone. I've just seen that Josie has announced that she is doing the Loose Women Tour. So I thought, you know what? I've got to get in on this. Do you know what I mean? I've got some stories to share. So I am announcing right here and now that I am going to be at the Palladium on the 18th. It's a Monday. Make sure you're there. I'm very excited. I'm going to share all my stories with you. Well, not all of them, just a few, you know, the really good ones. And I can't wait to spend some time with the Loose Women and with you. So I hope you come and join us. Lots of love. Mwah. Bye, Babs.
Oh. So Alison's going to be joining Christine, Brenda, Janet and Denise at the Palladium. That's going to be an incredible night. But we've got some amazing guests with us. It's going to be such fun.
Yeah, joining us three and Judy in Cardiff on the 2nd at St David's Hall. We've got GMB, showbiz guy, Richard Arnold.
Oh,
so he's going to be giving us all the gossip.
And he is so indiscreet, Richard.
Oh,
he is
my
so
goodness,
indiscreet.
that TV camera there.
Yeah.
I'll be in Liverpool, would you believe it?
Being funny, I hope.
Oh, yeah, dead funny with yourself and Nadia and Denise. And we have got Nina Wadia, who's also very funny, coming to join us, from goodness gracious me.
Fantastic.
And then Martin Kemp joins Charlene, Katie, Denise and Janet at Oxford's new theatre on Monday, 25th of September. Oh, you won't be there? You're from But Charlene, Katie, Denise and Janet will be.
Oh, fantastic. Martin Kemp, the old silver fox. Yeah. And these two ladies in the second row will be in Glasgow because they've already booked their tickets. So I will see them there. For more information, you can, of course, head to our website. But back to today's show now. And still to come, she is the cover girl of Vogue. But as Colleen Rooney says, she can't forgive and forget. When it comes to Rebecca Vardy, we're asking, how easy is it to let go of something after betrayal? It is competition time now, though, and your chance to win a Disney cruise and £35,000. Kate's got the details. Was that funny?
How do you fancy getting yourself a once-in-a-lifetime family holiday and a jaw-dropping £35,000 in tax-free cash? Well, we've teamed up with Disney Cruise Line to bring you a stonking prize package worth over £40,000. Setting sail next August from Southampton, our 4-night prize includes a stay in a deluxe stateroom with your very own veranda and ocean view, all onboard meals, as well as onboard spending money for those added extras. You and your family could be whizzing through Disney's first-of-its-kind water coaster, the Aqueduct, or taking things a little slower in a relaxing, quiet cove pool. Take your pick of onboard dining options, from Vanellope Sweets and Treats to Animator's Palette and many more. We're giving you the chance to win a huge £35,000 in tax-free cash, which could land in your bank account in a matter of weeks. So if you fancy the chance at winning a Disney holiday like no other and £35,000, here's how you enter. Text WIN to 86060. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 786060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY33 PO Box 7558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 1st of September at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Now it's time for today's guest. King of the Jungle and Emmerdale's Danny Miller swapped the Dales for dummies after the birth of his son Albert back in 2021. Since then, he's tied the knot with his childhood sweetheart Steph, and even more excitingly, the pair welcomed their second child earlier this month. It's safe to say they're keeping busy. Please welcome Danny and Steph Miller.
Thank you. How are you?
Welcome. Oh, I hope we're going to get a glimpse of these babies before you go. Not that it's not lovely to have you here, but yeah, they look so cute. But I was just thinking, Danny, I watched you in the jungle, and you forget time, don't you? Because it was Wales, so it must have been a COVID year. And you just had a new baby then, but that would be Albert.
Yeah, so we worked out the other day, it was they're the same age now as when I left him to go into I'm a Celebrity. Yeah, so this time I'm getting a little bit more time of the
Because I remember you were kind of jittery about the time and you were talking about having the baby at home.
Yeah, well, we kind of knew that, you know, that was what was going to happen, and Steph was amazing, very supportive, and she said, you know, you're doing it. There's no choice, you're doing it, kind of thing. And it was amazing. It gave us, you know, enough kind of budget to have another year off, and look what happened.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We have another one.
Make your own minds up.
So were you sitting at home, Steph, with the baby, watching him on the telly?
Yeah, we went into isolation with Danny when I was 9 days old. So we stayed with him in a cottage for 2 weeks before we went into the castle, which was actually really nice because we had so much time together and like no visitors or anything. So we actually had loads of quality time, and it was lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then the hardest part was we had to wave him off, go in the taxi.
Yeah,
that was
horrible,
the horrible part. And I went back home, and then I didn't see him until the day after he was crowned the king.
Yeah, of course, they take your phones off you as well, so I didn't even know if they got home all right. I mean, they said they're fine, but they said no news is good news, which was just horrendous. But that's the rules of the show, and we knew what we signed up for. So.
And you've been together since primary school, is that right?
Well,
how cute is that?
Well, hold the
There's a story here.
We met in primary school, and then we went through high school, and then we kind of drifted off. And I was 17, I moved to Leeds, and was on Emmerdale, and then Steph went off and studied for midwifery, and then we met up again about four years.
He sent an Instagram message at 1 a.m. one night, actually. I hadn't spoken to him for 10 years, and I just got a message, yo, where you at? I was like, you could ask me how I've been for the last 10 years, but...
Oh, I love this.
Wow.
We've gone from a primary school love to Stitching City,
Let's go back to the primary school story.
Steph, I wanted to ask you, because I know you've got PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, haven't you? And I think it's really nice to know that I know that it was tricky a bit with Albert, but Edith was a natural.
Well, we were using Clomid again, so we'd been trying for 6 months and we hadn't conceived, and it was getting close to the wedding, so we thought, with the stress of the wedding and when we're moving house, having another, you know, like we're trying for a baby too, it's quite stressful when you're tracking your days. So we put it off till after the wedding, had some fertility investigations again, and we needed Clomid to stimulate the ovaries.
Well, I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there that if you have PCOS, you probably won't ever have children. So, you know, you are the case in point that you can.
That's funny. Can you hear the baby? I can hear. Is that is it lunchtime?
We must be. But this time it only took a month, so we were quite surprised, weren't we? Because it was 6 months of Clomid with Albert, and this time was just the first month.
I think that's why we want to kind of be so open about it, is that you know we've known so many stories similar to ours, and that you know like it can work, and you know it's just a case of the miracles.
And how was it for you supporting somebody with something like that? Because I know a lot of friends with polycystic ovaries. It's not talked about, but it's very common. And I wonder how does it feel from the husband's point of view?
I think that's just I'd like to say it's a job, but it's not a job. That's our role, I think, as your partner, is to be there for my partner Steph, and you know I think that was all I ever wanted to do, was just support her as best I could, and you know I think with the support and helping each other through it worked. So you know I think it just shows that once you've got a shoulder to cry on. And
had you heard of it before?
I'd never heard of it. No, I hadn't heard of it. So.
I think it's tough for the women too, because when you know it's something that's your body that isn't doing something properly, and your partner's had the investigations and everything's come back completely fine. You feel like a little bit like a pressure on yourself, and you're the reason.
Can we meet these babies? I'm sorry.
Oh,
and Albert.
Come here.
And you're a midwife. Oh, thank you.
This is Steph's mum, Joyce.
Steph's mum, Joyce.
OK, I've got to ask this question. Where do the curls come from? Who's got curls in the family?
Well, I think both of us have. You know, we've both had curls in the family, but my mum's hair is very similar as a kid. As Albert's, as is her mum. So.
And I wanted to ask you about. I'm a home birth. I have both my babies at home. You had a home birth, right?
Yeah. Well, we actually had her at my mum's house because we were in the process of moving again. And my mum was decorating her bedroom, so it was empty. So my mum was really supportive of having a home birth too, because we were umming and ahhing because we'd moved to mum's. So we put the pool up in mum's room, didn't we? And it was amazing.
They were great. I was very worried about it because obviously Steph's a midwife, so she's been through hundreds of these. So for me, I was just terrified of what may happen. So Yeah.
That's what my husband kept saying. Why can't we have someone in a white coat with a stethoscope?
No. But you know what? But Steph was so sort of adamant, and I was there as a support system for that. And whatever she wanted to do, she's the one that's carrying it. So I wanted to try and make sure that I was there as a support system for her. And
That's great, you know. That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
You wasn't too sure at first, were you?
Well, I mean, the labour itself, she was like 36 minutes later and the baby's here, which, you know, people would be like, oh, that's amazing. Other people would be like, oh, God, you know, kind of, how's she done that sort of thing? I was in awe of her.
36
Well,
minutes?
my water's... I was in the bathroom with Albert and my water's broke and we were due to take Danny's dad to the garden centre for lunch. And I said, oh, I'm not really contracting, let's just go. We won't tell triage yet. We'll just go.
She just wanted to go to the garden centre.
And 20 minutes later started contracting, didn't I?
Yeah.
But that would have been a nightmare.
You were being the classic midwife to yourself. Oh, you'll be a long way off yet.
Well, it was that quick, we didn't even have time for gas and air or any pain relief.
Yeah, it didn't arrive.
You're not supposed to have it, you know.
I know. Well, I wanted it. You know.
I said, I looked back on the messages I'd sent to the midwife and like 20 minutes late after my waters broke, I'd been like, Danny's being really dramatic. He's saying, I'm getting the pool up, he's running round. And she said, it was a good job he did, because otherwise he wouldn't have got the pool up in time.
Well, listen, it's a... Thank you for bringing your beautiful...
No, thanks for having us.
You're absolutely wonderful. Albert, you have been a
You're waving up.
star. Thank you for joining.
Well, just so gorgeous.
Danny and Steph, everyone.
Thank you very much. Kisses, Albert. Wait.
Oh, he's a heartbreaker. Still to come as Colleen Rooney breaks her silence on Rebecca Vardy and the infamous Agatha Christie case. We're asking, how forgiving are you? We'll see you soon. On Monday, if you think you're seeing double, look again and again and again. Janet visits the group that have dedicated their fun run to our very own living icon, Janet.
My running days are over, love. Where's the drinks?
Baffling, boozy and utterly bonkers.
Who's the old Janet Street Porter?
Janet meets the Janets. Monday on Loose Women. It's for real, people! It's for real! I can't believe that.
I couldn't believe what
Speechless for once. Yep, the Janet Fun Run. Welcome back. It's competition time again. Your chance to win £35,000 in tax-free cash and a Disney cruise. Kate has all the details.
Need something to pick you up during the summer holidays? How does this sound? We're giving you the chance to win the ultimate Disney family holiday for up to 5 people and a breathtaking £35,000 in tax-free cash. First up, setting sail from Southampton next August, you could be sailing across Europe on board the prestigious Disney Dream on a 4-night Disney cruise. We will have you covered on board with all of your food included and even some onboard spending money for those little extras. Meet, greet and strike a pose with some classic Disney characters, share hugs with your favourite princess or goof around with Goofy and of course, take pictures with Captain Mickey and Captain Minnie. As well as those spellbinding magical moments, we're also giving you the chance to win £35,000 to spend however you like. Make the whole family's dreams come true. Here's how you enter. Text WIN to 86060. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to the website. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 786060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY33 PO Box 7558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 1st of September at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Now, Colleen Rooney has broken her silence on Rebecca Vardy as she becomes the digital cover star of Vogue. Oh, look, she's looking very sort of enigmatic there. She addressed the Agatha Christie case where Colleen accused Rebecca of selling stories about her, and a judge finally ruled that Colleen was telling the truth. Now, Colleen was asked in the interview whether she could forgive Rebecca, to which she replied, I love this, I'm a forgive and forget person. I can't be bothered with things going on and on, but this is obviously totally different. Ooh! Doof. It's a doof, 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 that one, isn't it? It's a complete blooming doof, doof, doof. You see what she means, Nadia?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because this forgive and forget, I say it all the time, and so many people do as well. Oh, I can forgive, but I can't forget. But the thing is, I think the two are tied together because I think if you can't forget, you're still hanging on. And for the things I can't forgive with certain people in my life, I know that I'm only doing myself harm, but I find it really, really... If somebody's really, really hurt me, I find it incredibly hard to
See, I don't
let it
think
go.
they are tied together.
Don't
So,
you?
no, because what I can forgive... So, I mean, we talk about something major, I mean, not silly little things, but... So what that person will think... So in my head, I've just moved on from it, and that person will think I've forgiven them, and my behaviour with them will be completely normal. But in my head, I won't have forgotten that happened, and so I won't put them in a position again where they could do that to me again.
But what bit's the forgiving bit, then, if it's not forgetting?
Because I'm not... They don't... For me, it's like if you don't forgive somebody, you're very odd with them when they talk to you, or you don't get in touch with them.
You avoid them or whatever.
They would not know...
Ooh.
But they have
they've
been compartmentalised.
See, Jane's making me nervous.
I don't think I agree with that. Because I think forgiveness has to be in your heart.
See, I can forgive because I can't remember. You really,
I have to remind her
remember.
who's annoyed her.
I know, because she'll say, oh, that was terrible.
Yeah, when that
person. You were very unhappy with them, weren't you? And I'll go, was I? I honestly can't remember.
No, I think I deliberately distance myself from people. So if rather than talk about forgiving, I sort of just walk away from being... I choose not to be around those people as much, so I'll call them less, I'll see them less.
All right, so you don't do what Jane does?
Yeah, I don't pretend everything's still fine. I kind of just try and distance myself. And similarly, if they think I've done something to do them wrong, I say to them, well, you shouldn't want to be around someone like me. If that's what you really think I've done, if you think I've thrown you under the bus or I've made you feel bad, then don't be friends with me. And I actually ask them.
See, I think now, both of you, what I'm hearing is that you don't forgive. I think we're all very similar, because what I want to truly forgive is to be OK with that person, to forgive it, to move on from it, to carry on with it. But if I'm not forgiving, I'm not wanting to see you.
But if I truly haven't forgiven somebody, trust me, they'll know it. Whereas if I've forgiven them, but they're just in a different compartment.
But going back to what you originally said, Nadia, that if you don't forgive, it only does you harm, I guess ultimately I'm maybe being quite selfish, because I think I genuinely do forgive, because I don't want to carry that around with me. You know, because it starts to eat you up.
But you can. It also depends on the apology. If somebody said sorry, there is a point where you go, I forgive you, because you genuinely, you're authentic in your apology.
Yeah.
It's when people don't say sorry and you remember that they did something that you thought wasn't what you would do in their shoes. And I think it's quite a tricky area, but if somebody has been genuine in their apology and I feel it, I do forgive.
Yeah. No, I can definitely move on, but it is very much aided by the fact that I've got terrible memory. And I just can't remember.
It's like if I've said to somebody, don't say anything about this, and then they do say something, and then I'll think, OK, well, I forgive you, that's all right, but I'm not going to tell you anything again.
Yes, but it's something major, if it's something really bad, to be able to forgive, you have to forget it. Truly.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, imagine in families, you have to. Otherwise, you live in a trap, don't you?
Yeah.
You've got to keep moving on. Otherwise, it becomes.
MI5's on the phone for Jane. They're looking.
How do we know she's not already working for MI5?
We don't. That's it from us. We're going to be here the same time on Monday with something extraordinary. Janet attending a fun run. Yes, you heard that right. In her honour, surrounded by a whole load of other Janet. In the meantime, good luck to the Lionesses in the World Cup final.